Jake here for AmericanMuscle.com, and today I'm taking a look at this J&L 3.0 oil separator for the 2016 and newer Camaro SS. If you're in it for the long haul with your Camaro, especially if you've already got or are planning to do some additional engine modifications, then something like this oil separator from J&L should definitely be on your short list of stuff to get. Oil separators are an easy and effective mod that have a unique sort of place in the market. Unlike most aftermarket parts that can easily be grouped into power, handling, or styling modifications, oil separators are really more of a mod that is meant to help with the longevity and reliability of your engine. If you're not familiar with these, oil separators attach to the PCV or positive crankcase ventilation system on your engine. The PCV system helps to regulate pressure within the bottom end or crankcase of the engine by venting it back up through the intake manifold. In doing this, however, oil residue gets caught up in the vapors, and that can end up getting the top end of your engine a bit dirty. That's where the oil separator comes in. The idea is that this will strain out excess oil that gets caught up in the vapors being recirculated and trap them in this little container here. And then you just spin this off and dump out the excess oil. This is especially helpful in modern engines with direct fuel injection, since those don't have fuel flowing through the intake manifold or over the intake valves to help keep them clean. So over time, any excess oil, or blow-by as it's commonly known, tends to build up on the intakes and valves and gum things up. That's why on newer cars, sometimes you'll see a puff of black smoke when the driver really puts their foot down. Now, all of that can lead to increased engine wear and higher repair bills for you. So that's why you'd want something like this oil separator. Like I said, this is going to route those vapors coming from the bottom of your engine through here, and this is essentially a filter. J&L has designed this one in-house to trap fine oil vapors in a very fine mesh, and then once there's enough particulates build up, they will fall through this 1/2 inch thick 1/16 aluminum honeycomb filter, which you can see here, and they fall down and are trapped in a little 3-ounce can that you can easily remove to clean and empty. And the air will continue to flow through uninterrupted, keeping that pressure stabilized, and the oil stays behind. And J&L has done a really good job with this, in my opinion. It's compact, it's well built, and it feels like a solid piece. The whole thing is milled from solid billet aluminum, and the base of the tank has this really nice knurled texture, so it's easy to grip and remove even when it's in the car. There's also a nice thick O-ring at the top here to help prevent spillage. And they include these thick lines with quick disconnects on the end. So overall, this is a really simple thing to get installed. And as you can see, the whole thing is anodized black as well, so it's going to look nice and clean when you get it installed in your engine bay. Now, 3 ounces might not sound like a lot, and well, it isn't a lot. However, most engines are going to produce only about 1 ounce of oil every 1,000 miles, but of course your mileage may vary depending on the age and condition of your engine. J&L recommends that you check this canister every 500 to 1,000 miles or so when you first install it to get an idea of when it needs to be serviced. However, again, your engine may not produce as much oil vapor if it's newer or just in good condition, so you might be able to go a little bit longer. But if you live in a colder climate, or if your engine's a little bit older, it's likely that you're going to need to check and empty this more often, since cold weather and an older engine might mean more condensation or more oil buildup. Overall, this is a really simple, easy mod to get done on your Camaro. It's going to help keep the top end of your engine cleaner, which means it's going to run better and longer. So if you're going to be keeping your car around for a while, it's worth your while to pick one of these up. Now, there are a lot of oil separators out on the market, but going with the J&L is a great option because of the construction we talked about, the fact that it has these proprietary filtering systems, and of course, the price. Coming in around $200, this is one of the least expensive options out there in the category. You're getting a really high quality item here, and for that price, even if it saves you on just one repair bill, I think it's worth it. Figure it this way. Most dealers will charge more than double the price of this little guy for a routine intake valve cleaning. So if you can buy this and avoid having to do that service even once or twice, I'd call that a big win. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this is a pretty easy install, and that is absolutely true. This is gonna get a 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and it should only take you about 10 to 15 minutes to get it all set up. You're gonna go ahead and mount the bracket on the top right here, bolt this into the car, attach the hoses, make sure this is tightened up, and you're all set to go. Just remember to follow those cleaning intervals. And with that, let's throw it over to one of our AM customers who's gonna show you the process for getting this installed on your Camaro.
So it's going to be a 13 and just a Phillips screwdriver or a 1/2 inch socket. So to pull up the instructions, because this didn't come with any instructions, it's pretty much you have to scan this barcode and then it'll pull it up. So on my other phone, that's how I'm looking at it. I didn't show y'all this, but this also came in the package with the oil catch can, and this right here is going to go on top of the catch can, and this is also going to get screwed into that. So stay tuned.
Alright,
So we're going to
clips supposedly just come off really easily, but that's
take
usually
the clips off.
a giant lie. Okay, hey, look at that. It actually did come off kind of easy.
Okay, you want to take this side off.
It's supposed to just...
It snapped right off. There we go. So we're going to unclamp this one down here and unclamp this one up top. And the clamps look like this. So all you're going to do is push it in like that and pull it out. But we're going to do that to these ones down here. So let me try to put my hand on it. See if I can get it. Engine is hot. Ouch. Be careful. And the way they got it in here, I could not pull this thing out. So stay tuned so I can pull it out. Okay, we finally got it off. Came off from that part, and that part, if you look, you can see some oil already in it. I don't know if you can see. I don't have that much because it is a brand new car, but this is still oil. Eventually gets to your engine. So now we're about to install a catch can. Pretty much you just get the bracket and mount it back up there.
We'll leave it a little loose so we can kind of move it, just to kind of put it where you want it.
Yeah. Yeah, you good like that. Because we got to tighten it in anyway. Screw the top piece in.
Yeah, cool.
So that right there would be your bracket once you tighten it back in. But try to keep it a little loose so you can make sure, you know, everything adjusts perfectly. The catch can ain't, you know, just make sure you just don't tighten it too much because you may have to unloosen it to adjust it. And then you'll use the little 2 screws that come out of it. Pretty much screw it on top of the catch can.
Use your Phillips head screwdriver.
Use your Phillips head. Screw it on in. There you go. And now that's
Don't
good.
over tighten.
Don't over tighten. You hear the mechanic. And then you also gonna go ahead and hook these up. But first, let's go back to the directions. So in the instructions, they said the O side and C side. I'm on here looking on the, it ain't none of that. So pretty much the O side is pretty much this. This is the O side, this is the C side. The O side is gonna go to the lower valve, which would be right, let me focus. Should it go on the inside or the outside? Probably the outside, probably. Because we gotta put that cover back on.
Oh yeah.
Just push it down and you hear it snap. Same thing with the top one. And it snaps. Try to pull it out, make sure it don't come out. Got it in right. And pretty much, that's how you install an oil catch can.
That's going to do it for our review and install of the J&L 3.0 oil separator for the 2016 and newer Camaro SS. Thanks for watching, and remember, for all things Camaro, be sure to stick with us right here at AmericanMuscle.com.